Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. I'm Donatella. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd love to have you. Welcome to my little book club today. I'm going to be sharing with you my July roundup and what books that I've been reading in July. I technically still have one on the go, so that might have to sneak into next week's vlog. So if you want to hear about my thoughts on that, then watch next week's vlog. But I've been writing all my notes down as I've been reading them. If you're new here and you don't know, I'm a romance reader. I'm dabbling in the fantasy romance, but I am romance through and through and through. I just love love and it just makes me happy, okay? The books that I have read this month. Got my notes up here. Let's go. We started off the month with Book Lovers. If you've watched my vlogs, you'll know I was saving this book because I just don't want to read all of Emily Henry's books in a rush because I just love them. As much as everyone else does, I just love Emily Henry. I just knew I was going to love this. I just didn't realise how much I was going to love this. My favourite Emily Henry funny story and Happy Place, but I think this might have to, I think just all of them, to be honest. What I saw on the back of this, somebody'd quoted, and I actually think this is so true. It says Schitt's Creek for book nerds, and I genuinely was getting Schitt's Creek vibes. I don't know if anyone's watched Schitt's Creek on Netflix, but that kind of town is exactly what I was imagining Sunshine Falls to be. So if you've not read it, the quick summary is it's kind of an enemies to lovers. So you've got Charlie, who's a book editor, and then you've got Nora, who's a literary agent, kind of for a posing company, I guess, and then they end up having to work editing a book together, and they go to this like little town, and I just don't want to say too much without giving it away. It all goes down in this little town, and it's not kind of what she thought it would be anyway. I've probably not explained that very well, but all I can say is I recommend it. Small town romance, and it's perfect. It was perfect for me to read after Chestnut Springs. So in my vlogs, you'll know the Chestnut Springs series literally lives rent-free in my head every single day. And I think this was the perfect romance for me to read after, because it's kind of like rom-com taking the mickey kind of a small town romance. I just loved her. I think that she was such a great character, and I love the way that she describes New York. I think I said when I'd finished this book, but obviously Jack and I went to New York in January, and it was like my biggest dream to go to New York. So the way that she described New York was everything that I experienced when I was there. So I could just really picture it, and it was just so beautiful. I loved like her kind of flashing back to times when she lived with her mum in New York, and yeah, it was just really wholesome and lovely. I've also written that I cried finishing this book, so she was a tearjerker for me, and I think that an Emily Henry again is going to be 5 stars for me. So Book Lovers, going back on the shelf. Then we move on to a new release, which was Not in Love, Ali Hazelwood. And I have never read an Ali Hazelwood book before. I think her most popular book, Love Hypothesis. And after reading this, now I don't know if I want to go and read that. Oh, I don't know if I liked it, guys. I just don't know if I liked it. This was for me. And it did say in the front of the book that this was different to any of her other books, because this consisted of a lot more erotica and smut, shall we say. So I put too much spice, not enough story. Enjoyed the quick read, but wanted more. I think potentially because they hooked up before and I wanted a slow burn. So yeah, a bit of a synopsis of this book. Basically, Rue, loved the name Rue as well, by the way. So Rue and Eli are the characters, and basically Rue is a scientist and she's working at this place, and Eli and his company are going to take over the company she's working for, but she'd already hooked up with him before. So when she sees him again, she's like, oh, it's him, kind of thing. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think I needed like a slow burn, just like spice after spice for me, and it was just too much. The thing that I've written down that I liked is that it's kind of showing a different kind of relationship, and that they they struggle to communicate, this couple, and you could see the frustrations and the struggles that they had. And yeah, I really think that the characters had a lot of depth, and like we could have gone into them a lot more if there wasn't as much spice. Just not for me. So I'm gonna give this 2.5. Then, okay, so it was I'm kind of glad that I'd read one that I'd not liked as much, because then I read this, and The Rule Book by Sarah Adams. And I've said so many times before, but I love Sophie Jane on YouTube. If you don't watch her, just watch her. I literally just want to be her friend. And she read this on holiday, and she just said that she had a good time reading it. So I was like, I need to read this. And boy, am I so glad that I did, because I really, really did enjoy this. So this is the first Sarah Adams book that I read. I know that she wrote the cheat sheet. I think the cheat sheet's the most popular one. Practice makes perfect. And I have to say, it's just made me want to read all of her books. So I actually think after reading this is the second book rather than the first book, but it still did make sense. I think cheat sheet does actually link to this book. In like the friendship groups, this is the second book in the series, but it still made sense to the story. But I need to go and read cheat sheet now, I think. I've written so much about this. Okay, so here we go. So straight away I was into, yeah, it was like a couple, this took me a minute to get into, but then as soon as I'd read the first chapter, I was in. The first line literally said, first line was, sometimes life is like a box of chocolates, and sometimes life is like a box of chocolates left out in the sun all day. Just what a great analogy that was. I just thought that was great. Yeah, again, so funny. I was like literally howling out loud. Found this just really funny. It's about a girl called Nora and a guy called Derek, and they used to go out in college, but they broke up. Now she is a like NFL agent, and he works and he's a footballer in the NFL, and she's an agent, and she ends up being his agent, and it's basically a bit of like a fake relationship. Like they pretend they're together just to like have as a cover story, and it's just them navigating it and then them falling in love and living happily ever after. I just loved it so much. I was honestly howling out loud. Yeah, I literally put loving these characters. What I've written down is I am this girl, Nora Mackenzie. I think I did say, but I related to the character, this Nora, that's funny, she's called Nora too, but I related to this Nora a lot, but this Nora was on a different level. I've never read a book where I was like, I literally am this person. This entire character has been written, and it's me. Like, if they make this into a film, I think I could just do it, because I'd be playing myself. Yes, okay, off the back of reading Not in Love, the steamy scene in this book, like, it was so simple and so organic. It just kind of like seamlessly, like there wasn't any spice actually. It was just so like organic, and it wasn't, yeah, it was just love, and it was lovely. I'm not saying I don't want spice, because hey, I've read Chestnut Springs and it's my favourite series ever, but I just think too much maybe was this for me, but it was just lovely and I enjoyed it. Yeah, also he has dyslexia in this, so it's kind of nice to see his struggles of dyslexia. I just loved both of these characters, Derek and Nora, but Nora in particular I've related to a lot, but he was just lovely. What a great book boyfriend Derek is. Just, yeah, I just loved it. I had a great time. And the only thing that I would say I didn't enjoy is I wish I read this in like a quicker sitting. I read it over quite a long few days, and I've just been busy at work, and I just really just wanted to get back into it because I was really enjoying it, and I wish I had like more time to really sit. So I think this is definitely one I'm going to reread. But yeah, I'm going to give this 5 stars, and I will stop talking about it now because I did really, really enjoy it, and I'm going to purchase Cheat Sheet because I loved it. Then we went on to Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Okay, I see this everywhere on TikTok. Recommended to read this, and I think I have said, but the one I'm currently reading, which is Wildfire, is part 2 to this book. So I'll probably share my thoughts on that one in the next vlog. But this one I did finish, and I was not expecting what happened in this book to be what happened in this book from this cover. I just feel like the cover does not match the book. I actually think they've said on the front that this is not for children. Because I was reading it and I was like, hey, if that was on like a YA shelf, like, I guess young adults is fine, but children would pick this up thinking they're getting some kind of... It was not what we thought. This was spicy book. I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. So it's kind of a figure skater romance. She's a figure skater, he's a hockey player, enemy to lover kind of thing. I have to say, it wasn't my favourite. It didn't live up to the hype for me. Don't come for me, don't hate me. I know this book is like super loved. I enjoyed it. I like how free she is. I loved it. I just didn't relate to her like maybe as a person as much. The element of this book that I did love was therapy. The way she kind of just communicates her emotions and talks about how she's gone to and had a lot of therapy, and I just thought that was brilliant. I loved that, and I kind of wanted to hear more about like her journey to that point. But yeah, there was a lot of spice, but I loved the characters. I thought they were all funny. I loved the kind of like team aspect of it that they had from this book. Like obviously he's football and this was hockey, but that kind of like all the guys in the team, I did love that. I did actually struggle to read about her relationship with food and her relationship, because obviously she's a figure skater, so she's very conscious of the way that she looks and what she eats, and I struggled to hear her... I can't tell you this without spoiling it, but basically her skating partner is just not very nice to her, and the way he speaks to her is so dark, I think, and really, really, really horrible, and I found him quite difficult to read. Yeah, I guess I kind of like, because I have a dancer background, I completely can understand and relate to that attitude and like people saying horrible things to you about food and, you know, the way you look. But I found that just quite difficult to read because he was really horrible to her and I felt for her there. What else did I put? Yeah, I did. I don't know. I only finished this the other day, so I think I'm still kind of processing it, but I did enjoy it and I thought it was cute. There were just some elements of it that maybe I thought was a little bit cringe. I don't know. There was a line in this that I did love, and I did kind of like, she likes to read the character Anastasia. Yeah, Anastasia and Nate, I don't know if I said that, but yeah, the character Anastasia likes to read like erotic kind of books, and there was a comment where he like picks on her for like reading like spicy books, and she literally put, it's not porn, it's a romance book that happens to have a bit of sex in it. And I just loved that description. That did kind of describe that book. I think there was more spice than what I'd thought. I just didn't expect this book. I think I would have loved it more if it was a little bit shorter. It was quite big. I think there was like 50 chapters. And I just feel like we kind of got to the plot quite quickly. So that was probably the main thing I thought. I was just, towards the end, I was like, I know what happens now, you know? So yeah, 3.5, 4 stars. I know that Hannah Grace has her third book coming out in August. So that's why I've gone and started Wildfire, because that's the second book. And then I think it's Daydreamer is her third book, so I'm gonna pre-order that one just so that I've got them all ready to read. I will let you know how I get on with this one. I'm still very early, but this does link in the sense that there's like a small character in this book that now this is his main story, Russ, and like him finding love at college. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Woo! I feel like I whizzed through that, so I hope that was okay. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this month and the books, and particularly the order that I've read them, because I think starting off really strong with Book Lovers, then going into not so strong, made me then absolutely love this, to then now, you know, I feel like it's kind of a bit of a pattern. Yeah, really good month. So for August, there's a few books that I am desperate to get my hands on, because I think although I really want to read the next ACOTAR book, I know it's set in the winter court, so I feel like I might just save it for winter when it's like cozy, and that will be the perfect book, because there's so many summer books that I want to read. We're not going on holiday this year, so I need to escape into some sunshine in the books. I will vlog a little shopping trip that I'm going on this weekend, and I will show you all the books that I buy ready and show you my TBR for August. But that was July, so I really hope that you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think if you've read any of those books. And if you haven't, I would recommend these two as the standouts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week for another vlog.